10 seconds to the opening bell. Stocks likely to open higher. We'll take you there in a moment. Back to the big story on Varney and Company. The pivotal midterm elections, of course, are tomorrow. And with Democrats expected to lose their majority in the House, a tax compromise could be on the table. Former Clinton advisor Bernard Whitman is here to discuss it. Bernard, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
You know the compromise. Let me spell it out one more time. Make the middle-class tax cuts permanent, stuck in stone forever. Make the tax cuts for the rich, just extend them, that's all, extend them for a couple of years. I like this compromise. I think it's going to happen. What say you?
Well, that's not my preference, because I think what we really need to do is make certain that the tax cuts for those who really need it, the 97% of Americans who make less than $250,000 a year, we need to make sure that those are permanent. I would jettison the tax cuts for the wealthy. We don't need it. We can't afford it. But at the end of the day, Stuart, I am a pragmatist. I'm a realist in politics. If that's the only way to get it done, then I would not be opposed.
All right, let's discuss how likely this is. Bob Beckel was on our program on Friday morning, I think it was, and we raised this Thursday, I'm sorry, way back on Thursday, and we raised this issue with him. Just quickly take a listen to what Bob Beckel said on the tax compromise. This was back on Thursday.
The guess is that the compromise will be as follows: that they'll extend the middle-class taxes for everybody under $250,000, make them permanent, and the 250 and above, sunset them December 31, 2012.
Now, that was the early word on the compromise. It snowballed from there on out over the weekend. Bernard, it looks highly likely to me. How about you? You're a Democrat insider. I don't know what you feel about it, but it looks likely to me.
I think, actually, given the fact that the Democrats are likely to lose the House, I think it is a pragmatic strategy, one that does make sense, although I would rather sunset them for December 2011. Why? So the Republicans would have to go out on the campaign trail in 2012 and campaign on extending tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires at a time when the economy still will not be able to.
Bernard, what I'm sensing here, though, is a changing of the guard within the Democratic Party. In other words, I think it's rank-and-file Democrats who are pushing the president around now instead of vice versa.
That's
now,
good.
What do you think about that?
No, I don't believe so.
Because the president does not want to do this. He said he's never going to do this, and I think his own party is saying we're going to do this, and he has to listen.
It was a small group of Democrats in marginal districts, conservative Democrats fighting tough re-election battles, that held up the deal in the fall. We should have been able to extend the tax cuts for the middle class, jettison the tax cuts for the wealthy then, but we could not get our caucus in line because there were a lot of Democrats out there who did not want to support raising taxes on the rich.
I think Charles is right. I think Charles is right. I think this is the moderate Democrats who will be the ones who lose tomorrow. They're going to come back in the lame duck Congress. They're not going to allow big tax hikes on the rich. But let's withdraw from the politics.
If they've been kicked out of office, it shouldn't really matter.
I maintain that this is good news for the economy. If nobody's taxes go up, no federal income tax increase at all come January the 1st, I say that's good economics. I think it's good for the economy. Now, divorce politics here for a second, Bernard. I'm saying it's good economics, and I think you would agree with me.
Well, here's where we differ, Stuart, because the extra addition of the tax cuts for those top 3% of income earners will cost the Treasury another $700 billion over 10 years, and they are not. Those tax cuts are not stimulative.
If you take the money,
the economy, it's not going to help the economy.
Taxes like this on the rich or on anybody, you're taking money out of private hands and you're giving it to the government. That is not as productive as leaving it in private hands. When are you going to understand that?
And force us to borrow additional $700 billion from China, increase the deficit. How can that be helpful to the economy, Stuart?
Because you do not raise taxes on anybody when you've got a very sluggish, no-growth economy. It holds the economy back. That's what it does. And that's the last word. Sorry, but we're flat out of time.
But nice new haircut, though. You didn't compliment his haircut.
Nice haircut.
Thank you, gentlemen. I noticed Tracy didn't weigh in on my hair.
We just didn't give a chance.
She loves her hair long or short.
And we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bernard. In our next